Adam Silver's beloved, Zion Williamson. Buy or sell, Caleb, the Pelicans can be a playoff team with Zion as their number one guy.
Yes, I believe so. And I think they're in a similar situation that Boston is with Tatum and Dallas is with Luka, just finding the right guys to put around them to succeed. But Stan Van Gundy is finally starting to figure out that if he lets Zion be the main initiator and point Zion, that they are very good. You know, whenever he kind of takes the reins as a point guard, their offensive rating is up there with Brooklyn's. Like, it's very good whenever he gets to be the main guy. So I think it just comes down to surrounding him with the best guys that make him better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I definitely think that'll happen. He's still only 20. They have a long time to figure that out. They basically have like 6 more years of Zion if they manage it right and keep him happy. You got a long time to figure it out. I would guarantee they make the playoffs and they're able to win with him because point Zion is a very real thing, and they're very good whenever they have him playing. Now, his defense isn't what people expected it to be, but he's also not like horrific. I think his athleticism bells him out a lot, but he has time. You know what I mean? I really like Zion. I think they can definitely win with him as the number one.
I will say one thing about Zion is he was struggling early on, and especially early on this year. A lot of people were saying that, oh, Zion's overrated, and people were starting to make quick assumptions. Now it's starting to change up. The Pelicans just beat the Celtics in overtime, and Zion had 28, and he really took over at the end of the game. Zion, especially, you mentioned it. Stan Van Gundy's starting to figure out how to use Zion, and especially in February, he's averaging 27 points on 66% shooting, Caleb. That's pretty insane given the fact that Zion's not a center. He's not a guy that's just throwing it down every time. He's not a guy that's just sitting in the post. He's actually shooting shots, taking mid range, driving it inside, spin move. He has a lot in his game. So I think Zion's done a really good job. As I mentioned, the 66% on 27 points, the only player that's ever had that in an entire month was Charles Barkley. So the Pelicans are still not a playoff team right now, though, Caleb. And one thing I wanted to ask you, do you see Zion, even if you can see him as a number one guy, do you think he is a number one guy right now, or is that Brandon Ingram?
I'd say Zion's the number one guy. I think with his body, I don't think there's anyone that can really body him up. It's kind of like a thing where you have to do it by committee. You have to have three guys that are 250 plus pounds to throw at him throughout the game to even get him tired. He is very good inside. He leads the NBA in points per game inside the paint at 18.6. Like, he is very good. And you brought up his efficiency. We haven't seen a guy score 20 plus points per game on that sort of efficiency since like almost 50 years ago with Adrian Dantley. Like, he's having an amazing season, and it's kind of going under the radar for some reason. I definitely think though that he is their number one guy. I think Ingram is a good number two, but again, like we talked about this a while ago that, people bring them up as a duo, but they don't really strike us as a duo. You know what I mean? Like, they're not really that great together. Like, they both scored a lot of points today, but they don't really play off of each other well. You know what I mean? Like, they don't
perfectly together. I see what you're saying.
And I don't know if Ingram's the guy next to him, but it's not a bad option to have for the time being. But I definitely think that the main guy for sure should be Zion. I mean, he was killing us down the stretch. Fourth quarter and overtime, like he was getting whatever he wanted. And it comes down to he's just so strong that it's like I don't know if a single way you can really stop him. Like, he's so strong. Like, people say, well, build a LeBron wall. Like, you know how people always build a wall for LeBron in transition. But the thing with Zion is he'll just jump through it. Like, he doesn't, like, it's weird. Like, he'll avoid a charge. I've never seen something like it. Like, he has to be the number one because there's no way of stopping it. It's kind of like, well, I hope he misses. That's the only way you can really hope.
It's like this tweet that someone posted today of Stan Van Gundy drawing up the last play for Zion in that fourth quarter. And it says, run through a...
Yeah.
It says, run through a mother effer's face. And it's just a running back running right inside. And that's really what Stan has to draw up, because Zion just absolutely ran through Tristan Thompson like he was Alexi Poku, who I'm not going to mention him. Caleb hates him.
Sucks ass.
Well, you brought it up. You brought it up about Ingram, though, Caleb. You brought a good point. I don't know if he's that guy. He might not be the number two guy, and that's a good point that we can talk about in the future. But